team, I hope you're all well. Today we are going to be doing my April TBR. We're going to do it the usual way. I am going to do my Patreon pick and then we're going to pick 5, I think, books out of the TBR jar prompt. But I am aiming for the 4th or 5th year run-in, I think. Potentially 5th year run-in. Maybe 4th, I can't remember. I'm going to be aiming to do 30 books in 30 days. So I have a stack of books next to me, some that I need to read for reasons, whether it be for book clubs or for Patreon buddy reads or for Buzzwordathon, etc, etc. And a lot of these are like chunkier books, on the chunky side, not too chunky, but on the chunkier side. So if I can get some manga or some shorter reads in, I will do so where I can. But if I can fit these in, that would also be super helpful. But yeah, there's no way I'm pulling 30 prompts out of the jar. I'm not doing that. I need to have room to be able to mood read and, you know, dip in and out of different things. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Patreon jar. If you don't know what this is, my top tier patrons, I think it's top tier or it's top 2 tiers, I can't remember, get to put a book in here and I attempt to read it in the month that I pick it. On occasion it doesn't go quite that way, but I do my best anyway, and if I don't get to it in that month, I try and catch up where I can. So this isn't as easy to pick out of as the mug was, but I just love this TBR jar. If you're wondering where it's from the Reading Vault, and I have a discount code in the description box down below if you wanted to go and check them out. This is Silly Goose one, look how cute that is. I'm obsessed. Okay, so what the heck is this? I don't know what's in here and it terrifies me, I've got to be honest. I'd do it that way around. I don't know what that says, but I could tell it was upside down. The hell does that say? The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. Albeit you might, because I mentioned it in my spring reading plan. So if you've watched that video, you might believe the fact that that is literally next to me. What the heck? Kate, my saviour, thank you so much. I adore you. Also Claire for sending me this. Thank you very much. Sick. What the heck? Couldn't have written it. Couldn't have written it. Alright, let's find out what this is about. If I remember correctly, it is about a guy who is a movie star or a pop star or something, but his mum gets sick and he has to go back to his family ranch in Texas. However, he has a bit of a stalker and he ends up employing a bodyguard, but when he's going back to his family's ranch, he has to say to her, like, listen, my parents will not understand why I need a bodyguard, so can we just pretend we're dating? If I remember correctly, that's the synopsis of this book. Hannah might look like a kindergarten teacher, but the truth is she's an elite bodyguard who could kill you with her bare hands. Sick. Go off. Jack is impossibly handsome, world famous actor who has everything, including a corgi breeding stalker. This is why I'm not too nervous about this stalking situation, because this is going to be a rom-com and I think it's going to be done in a funny way that's not going to bother me too much. A little bit like Lights Out was, even though that is a dark romance, but it was funny. When Jack's mum gets sick, he heads home to his family's Texas ranch to help out. Only one catch: he doesn't want his family to know about his stalker. Oh, so it's the stalker that he doesn't want his family to know about, not the fact that he's got a bodyguard. Or the bodyguard thing. Okay, both. So Hannah, against her better judgment, finds herself pretending to be Jack's girlfriend as a cover. Protecting Jack should be easy, but protecting her own heart, that's the hardest thing she's ever done. I haven't read from Catherine Center before, but I'm very excited to do so. I've also got Hello Stranger on my Kindle, so I'm hoping that maybe Catherine Center could be a new favourite author for me. I've been recommended her several times, so looking forward to this one. That couldn't have worked out better if I tried. Like, I genuinely didn't think you were going to believe me. You probably don't. About the fact that I pulled The Bodyguard by Catherine Center out of my Patreon pot and it was sitting right next to me. If you've watched my spring TBR, you may believe me a bit more. That wasn't just a coincidence. Like, actually it was a coincidence, that's the point. If you've watched my spring TBR, you may believe me a bit more. But the powers that be have made this happen. And I'm okay with that. Shout out to Kate and the powers that be for making that happen. Okay. The prompt jar. I've gone through this and taken a couple of prompts out things like big book, a book over 500 pages. I'm trying to read 30 books in 30 days. That does not benefit me in the slightest. And then anything that might be a little bit more of a difficult prompt as well. I've wanted to try and keep this as simple as possible. As you can still see, there are still a lot of prompts in there. So I have just tried to make it a little bit more easier to fit these books in for 30 books in 30 days. So just, you know, in case you're wondering, I have taken out things like big book because that doesn't benefit me in the slightest while trying to do this challenge. Okay, the first one is a debut novel. I don't know if any of the prompts, any of the books on my list are debuts. Let's have a look.
2 very boring minutes later.
Okay, that was harder than I thought it was going to be to find. But I am going to go with Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This is an ARC. I did mention this also in my spring reading plans. It comes out the 6th of May. So, you know, April is the time to read this. And as I said, it's a chunky book. And this is going to be a physical read as well, which does make my life a lot harder. I am hoping that the type of book that it is, though I've heard a lot of comparison, actually this would have fit for like an over 500 page book prompt, if that prompt was still in the jar, which is not, because it's 509 pages. But this is compared to like The Hunger Games, and I'm very excited. In this sizzling dystopian romance, perfect for fans of Fourth Wing and The Hunger Games, your secrets can be a death sentence and there are rules to survive. So I'm very much so looking forward to this one. Wren Darlington has spent her whole life in hiding, honing her abilities and aiding the uprising in small ways. On the continent, being modified means certain death, and Wren is one of the most powerful mods in existence. When one careless mistake places her in the hands of the enemy and she's forced to join the most elite training program, she's finally handed the perfect opportunity to strike a devastating blow from inside their ranks. I love it when we have a situation where somebody's trying to disrupt or explode a thing from the inside out. Love that. But training for Silver Block can be deadly, especially when you are harbouring secrets and people would kill for. As the stakes grow ever higher, Wren must prove herself to the Silver Block, but that's easier said than done when your commanding officer is ruthless and infuriating, irresistible, cross-redden. And as war rages between mods and those who aim to destroy them, Wren must decide just how far she's willing to go to protect herself and how much of the continent is worth saving. It sounds great. I'm actually really excited about this one. I've seen nothing but great things about this as well, as far as early reviews are concerned, so very excited about that one. I'm glad to get that on here for debut novel. Okay, next. Need to keep my eye on the time. I've got sprint starting in like 20 minutes. Did this a bad time, didn't I? Alright, favourite author. Okay, so I have quite a few new authors in this stack actually, but a favourite author within the stack is, in fact, Paisley Hope. She's a new favourite author, but I've read 3 books from her so far. Yeah, Holding the Reins, Training the Heart and Wolf, and all of them have been 5 stars, so, you know, she's well on her way to becoming a new favourite author. This is Riding the High, the 3rd book in the Silver Pine series, and I'm super excited about it. It does come out on the 8th of May. This was also mentioned in my spring TBR. Comes out on the 8th of May, and I'm looking forward to giving this one a read again. April is the time to be reading this one. So the synopsis of this one: when Cole Ashby is appointed Laurel Creek's interim sheriff in chief, he is determined to prove himself as the best man for the job. A devoted single dad, his goal is to lay steady roots for his young daughter. The daughter of Kentucky's Congressman Ginger Danforth's life has always been about neat appearances, but inside she's dying to break free and embrace the sense of adventure that runs through her veins. During a wild weekend in Vegas, Ginger and Cole play a game of truth or dare, and after a few too many drinks find themselves hitched in a neon-lit chapel. With no quick way out, they strike a deal. Stay secretly married until Ginger's father is re-elected and Cole lands the sheriff job permanently. But as the pair are forced to spend an increasing amount of time in each other's company, sparks fly, and their accidental marriage starts to feel dangerously real until they forget they were ever pretending at all. Sign me up! I did start this one, actually. I wondered why it sounded so familiar, aside from the fact that I know these characters very well already, but I did start this one and had to put it down when Sin With Me by Brooke Montgomery came in, because that was a more urgent arc and the synopsis for both of these books were very similar, so I did put this one down. I'll probably start again, but yeah, Paisley is very quickly becoming a new favourite author for me, so I'm excited to pick this one up. Okay, look at me go, prioritising my arc reads, albeit that's another physical read on my TBR. I don't think that's necessarily going to help me out. We'll have to see. Right, book number 3. I really need to get a shufty on because these sprints will be starting soon. Okay, what do we have this way around, I think? Okay, a 2024 release. I have a handful of those. Let's have a look. See, just adding a whole bunch of chunky books on my TBR, to be fair here. I think this one is 2024 release. I'm fairly certain that's when it came in. Oh no, first published in 2022. 2024. Okay, my Patreon buddy read for March and April, so I do need to read this in April, is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I haven't read anything from Hannah Bonham Young yet, but I have all of her books so far, and this one was actually picked for March for my Patreon pick as well, from Tracy. So I should have read this in March, but I'm not going to get the chance to do that, so I'm going to push it into April with this prompt. A hot one-night stand and an unexpected pregnancy leads a young woman to someone she can depend on. I'm looking forward to this one. It does follow 2 characters. There is a disability rep in here as well, and it's unexpected pregnancy, albeit it's unexpected for them, but I know about it in advance. The author knows what she's doing. So I'm looking forward to giving this one a read, because I did also get Out of the Woods, which is the next in this standalone series, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to read the whole synopsis because I did probably read it in my March TBR, so I'm not going to do that again. But that is book 3 for April. So let's get into book 4. Let's do this one. Kennedy Ryan. Okay. Let's do This Could Be Us by obviously Kennedy Ryan, because the prompt is for Kennedy Ryan. I also have The Kingmaker, but I know that the 3rd one for this series is coming out soon, in the next few months, so I'm looking forward to this, and I did enjoy the first one in this series. So this one says, Soledad Barnes has her life all planned out. She plans everything, she designs everything, she fixes everything, but none of her varied talents can save her when catastrophe strikes, and the life she built with the man who's supposed to be her forever disappears in a cloud of betrayal and disillusion. But there's no time to pout or even grieve the life she lost. She's too busy looking after her daughters, and in the process of saving them all, Soledad rediscovers herself. But then an unlikely man enters the picture, the one she shouldn't want but can't seem to resist. She lost it all before and refuses to repeat her mistakes. Can she trust him? Can she trust herself? After all she's lost and found, can she be brave enough to make room for what could be? I really enjoyed Sol in the first one, so I'm looking forward to getting her story in this one, and I have been keen to get to this since that book, so this has been a great shout. It should be a quick enough read as well. I think I got through the first one in a day, so I should be able to get through this one in a day as well. So that is book 4. Where am I for time? 13 minutes past 9. Okay, book 5. I think I'll make this one the last one. We'll have to see. I've got my 2 arcs for the month on here, but I haven't got translated fiction, a classic, or a non-fiction yet either, and I haven't got either of the 2 books that I'm planning on reading for Keep It or Yeet It episode 4 either. I also have to I have the book troop pick that I need to get to, albeit I could delay that into May, but I don't really want to do that because I have an arc of it, so I would like to get to it before it comes out, but we'll see. And then I do have a committed read as well that I need to get to for a review, so might be nice to get that on. With one prompt, all of that with one prompt. Let's see if this, watch this be something that is completely off of everything now. Oh, for fuck's sake, I can see what that says, you can't yet. Kindle Unlimited. Of course it does. I should probably actually pick something Kindle Unlimited rather than looking through these and going, oh, that's on Kindle Unlimited, I could do that. Because I know that the book that I need to do a review on, I have it on Kindle Unlimited as well, but that's cheating, you know? Okay, what do I have? What do I currently have out on Kindle Unlimited? The problem is I take out quite a lot of books on Kindle Unlimited that I physically own because I also read them on my Kindle. So, you know what I could actually do though is save my Kindle Unlimited pick for whatever book is picked by people in the comments of the spring TBR for the cowboy vlog, because I'm clearly doing that one in April. I'm filming this early, so maybe editing me can leave editing this till a little bit later once some of those results will come in, and I can put it on the screen now what I could be reading if it's going to be a Kindle Unlimited one that's picked, because one of the options was a book that I physically own. In fact, let me just double check that all of those were Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, okay, so I'll put on screen what's been picked. It's a cowboy romance regardless, so I will do that for Kindle Unlimited. Let's just do one more prompt then on that basis, so that there's another book picked as well. So I'll be doing 6 pulls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 pulls. Sorry, inconveniently enough, my battery just died. Let's do a 6th pull of this so that I can give you another book, because I don't know what that 5th book is right now, which actually is a little bit intimidating, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's do this one. I think that way around. Oh, Owl Crate Jr. Okay, this picks another book for me for Keep It or Yeet It, I suppose, which is, you know, always good. I have my middle grade right here. So, I have Galaxy Jones and the Space Pirates, The Kingdom Over the Sea, The Marvellous, and No One Leaves the Castle. I feel like I should get to No One Leaves the Castle because I didn't do it in Feb, and I should have done, so let's do that. We're going to put No One Leaves the Castle on here by Christopher Healy, which is one of my Owl Crate Jr. books. So I suppose that's not maybe my whole TBR, we'll have to see. The Lilac. The bard songs say that she's the world's most fearsome bounty hunter, that there's no criminal she can't catch, no mystery she can't solve. None of that's true, yet. In reality, the Lilac is just a kid and a bard who wrote all that is her best friend, Dulcinetta. But when a priceless artifact goes missing from the home of famed monster hunter Baron Angbar, the Lilac and Netta see their chance to apprehend the thief and make a name for themselves. When they get to Castle Angbar, however, they meet the Angbar family and their servants and guests, an unsavoury group of nobles, mages and assorted creatures, each more shady than the last. The Lilac begins to wonder if the reward is worth the trouble, and that's before the dead body is discovered. Now everyone is magically sealed inside the castle and there's a murderer among them. If the Lilac wants to make it out with her reputation intact, it's going to be up to her to figure out who the killer is. But everyone in the castle, even the Lilac herself, has secrets to hide, and as the walls literally start closing around them, the Lilac worries that her first job as a bounty hunter may be her last. Sounds great. I've always been intrigued by this one, so yeah, that sounds really good. So those are the books that have been picked. We've got The Bodyguard, which is the Patreon pick. We've got Silver Elite for a debut novel. We've got Out on a Limb for a 2024 release. We have got This Could Be Us for Kennedy Ryan. We have got Riding the High by a favourite author, and we've got No One Leaves the Castle for an Ackroyd Jr. book. Now, as I mentioned, I have no classic, I have no translated fiction, and I have no non-fiction. So very quickly, I just wanted to tell you what those are going to be. I will also mention as well the book troop pick again, and then the book that I do need to read for review as well. So for translated fiction, I have been kind to myself and I've actually put on what should have been February's pick for Buzzwordathon. I managed to, the book that I did pick for the Skyline one for Buzzwordathon, you know, on the cover one rather than the actual word, actually fit for the word as well. So I do need to still read this book though, because it was on my 25 books in 2025, and it is The Rainfall Market. So I will be picking this one up for translated fiction. Then for the classic, I'm going to be going for 84 Charing Cross Road. I'm going to show a picture of it here. I've got it on my Kindle, but I also have the audiobook. And I've watched the movie for this, and it was just so good. I loved it. It's about a bookstore, and it's just such a beautiful movie that I really want to read the book, and it's short, so I'm really helping myself out here with this classic. I didn't want to pick a chunky classic, so I tried to hunt down a shorter classic, and this is the one that I came up with. The book troop pick for May, which I am involved with and will try and get to in April, because I have an arc and I want to read it before release day, but we'll see, this could end up being pushed into May, is When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm not going to give you a synopsis of this just in case I don't quite get to it. Actually, I'll give you a quick synopsis. It's about a woman who comes across a crying child in a bush, and she witnesses a very violent encounter between father and child, and she decides to go on the run with this child, and it kind of just goes from there. So sounds fascinating. I'm really looking forward to it. The chapters are so short in this, which will really help me out as well, because the text is fucking minuscule. But I'm excited about this one. I'm looking forward to it. And then the book that I have a commitment to read because I'm doing a review on is Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent, which slots in nicely actually, because I will, by the end of March, have just binged the whole of the Legend of Thesmar series, including Slaying the Shadow Prince, and these are all part of like a monster collection, I believe. So this one is set in the world of the Nyaxia series, I believe. Sexy, addictive and thrilling, Slaying the Vampire Conqueror is a dark fantasy romance set in the same world as the vampire-filled Crowns of Nyaxia series. So it sounds great and I'm looking forward to it. This one actually comes out in hardback on the 27th of March, so it will already be out with this new cover. I do have the original cover as well, and this is the book that I actually have on Kindle Unlimited as well. I have like 4 variations of this book now. This one, the paperback indie edition, the Kindle Unlimited edition, and an audio edition. It is what it is. So this is the other book that I will be reading in April as well. So as you can see, this stack, considering I want to do 30 books in 30 days, is now starting to get a little bit silly. Wouldn't you agree? Especially on the basis that I don't have the other books on there. If you've watched my spring TBR, you will know that I do have 2 books already planned for Keep It or Yeet It, on top of now No One Leaves the Castle, so we'll see how those go. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed for 30 books in 30 days. I'm going to have to hammer the reading. I'm going to have to try and get some manga in, I think, and shorter reads. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, chat to me in the comments down below. Let me know what you're reading in April. What are you looking forward to? Are you taking part in 30 books in 30 days? Don't ask me why I pick April. It's just always been April. It is what it is. It started off with me doing Bida, book every day April. I don't necessarily read a book every single day, but by the end of April I've read 30 books. And Jade did Vida for a couple of years, and now she's moved on to Vida because Vida was getting silly. She was doing a video every day in April. She did that for a couple of years. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing 30 books in 30 days again in April. Fingers crossed that I can manage it this year. So yeah, chat to me in the comments down below. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.